Teyana Taylor, make some noise.
Hey, y'all.
What's
What's
up, T?
poppin'?
What's going on?
Well, I'm just so happy you here, man. You know, my family, we celebrate you. And so, like, you're one of the favorite artists, my wife's favorite artist.
I think she's
My
big in a
daughter
lot of
loves you.
household, right?
She
What
big-
happens when a celebration meant to bring joy turns into a night of heartbreak and public confrontation? What happens when a moment designed to bring a family together instead leaves them shattered and exposed for the entire world to see? Iman, a man who has always been praised for his calm and steady demeanor, found himself at the very center of an explosive argument during one of the most important events in his family's life, his own daughter's party. But this wasn't just any disagreement. This wasn't a small misunderstanding that could be brushed off with an apology or a smile. This was a moment that froze the room. A moment so raw and shocking that everyone present knew instantly they were witnessing something they would never forget. During what was supposed to be a beautiful night of laughter, music, and celebration, Iman and Tiana became locked in a heated dispute that boiled over for all to see. The fallout of that night has left not just family and friends reeling, but also fans around the world questioning how a couple so admired for their bond could let things fall apart so publicly. Guests who arrived to share joy ended up watching a love unravel, and now everyone wants to know, how did it escalate to this point, and what does it mean for their future together? Was this simply a misunderstanding fueled by stress and high emotions, or was it the eruption of a deeper pain that has been simmering beneath the surface for far too long? The evening began in pure happiness. The venue had been decorated beautifully, with balloons strung across the walls, tables filled with food, music echoing in the background, and the sound of laughter filling every corner. Friends, family, and loved ones gathered to celebrate a milestone in the life of Iman and Tiana's daughter. For a time, it seemed like the perfect family moment. Photos were being taken, children were running around, and guests were smiling as they toasted to love, growth, and happiness. But behind the surface of joy, a storm was brewing, one that no one saw coming until it erupted in the most unforgettable way. When the argument began, the mood of the entire room shifted in an instant. At first, some guests thought it was nothing more than playful banter, the kind of exchange that couples often have in the middle of stress. But very quickly, it became clear this was different. The sound of Iman's raised voice cut through the music and chatter, commanding the room's attention. His words, sharp and heavy, carried anger and hurt. Tiana, visibly taken aback, tried to respond, but before anyone could even process what was happening, the dispute spiraled out of control. What had been a joyous occasion only moments earlier transformed into a tense and uncomfortable spectacle. Guests exchanged nervous glances, shifting uncomfortably in their seats as they struggled to process the scene unfolding before them. The air grew thick with tension, the kind of tension you can almost feel pressing against your chest. This was no minor disagreement. This was not about cake, decorations, or the stress of hosting a party. It was the kind of explosion that only comes from pain and frustration that has been bottled up for far too long. Guests watched in stunned silence as the once-admired couple stood on opposite sides of a battlefield, trading words that were too heated and too sharp to ignore. As the whispers spread among the crowd, the reality became undeniable. This argument was a symptom of something much deeper. It wasn't about the night itself. It wasn't about the party. It was about everything that had been left unsaid, all the frustrations that had been quietly festering between Iman and Tiana, finally breaking free at the worst possible time. The aftermath of the confrontation was devastating, not just for Iman and Tiana, but for everyone who had come to celebrate. Guests who had arrived expecting to share in joy now found themselves awkwardly caught in the middle of a very private pain made public. The room that had once been filled with laughter was now filled with unease. Some guests quietly excused themselves, while others sat frozen, too shocked to move. Everyone wondered the same thing. If this could happen here, in front of everyone, what was really happening behind closed doors? Iman's outburst was particularly jarring because of the man he had always been in the public eye. Known for his calm, collected, and controlled demeanor, this side of him was foreign to those who thought they knew him. His actions raised eyebrows and sparked questions that no one had ever asked before. How could a man so respected and admired lose control like this? How could he shout at the woman he claimed to love in front of not just their closest friends and family, but their daughter? For Tiana, the moment was heartbreaking in more ways than one. It wasn't just an argument, it was humiliation. To be spoken to in that way, in front of so many people, was something she never expected from her partner. Her attempts to hold her composure could not mask the pain etched across her face. This wasn't just about anger. It was about years of emotions coming to the surface. Cameras clicked, guests whispered, and Tiana stood there, caught between wanting to defend herself and wanting to disappear from the moment altogether. Later that night, unable to contain her feelings, Tiana took to social media with a post that sent shockwaves across the internet. Sometimes you fight to protect what you love, but sometimes you have to walk away to protect yourself, she wrote. Her words were simple, but they carried the weight of years of unspoken pain. Fans read between the lines and realized this wasn't just about one fight at one party. This was about something much bigger. The hurt, the frustrations, the struggles of maintaining a relationship under the pressures of public life. It was all there, hiding between her words. Her message struck a chord. It revealed vulnerability, but also strength. Despite the humiliation, despite the heartbreak, she made it clear she was not going to let this one moment define her or her future. Her words left fans torn between hope and fear. Would she fight to save her relationship with Iman, or was she preparing herself to move forward without him? The impact of the public fallout stretched far beyond just Iman and Tiana. Their daughter, whose special day was meant to be a memory of love and joy, found herself caught in the middle of a storm she never asked for. While she may not fully understand the gravity of what unfolded, the emotional weight of that night will linger in ways that no child should ever have to carry. For Iman and Tiana, the challenge of co-parenting after such a public breakdown now looms large. Can they put aside their differences for the sake of their daughter? Or will their fractured bond seep into their parenting, leaving scars that time may not easily heal? As expected in today's world, the story didn't stay within the walls of the party. Guests who had witnessed the shocking exchange rushed to social media, and within hours, the incident went viral. Fans, critics, and strangers alike weighed in, dissecting every detail and assigning blame. Some were quick to condemn Iman, declaring that no man should ever speak to the woman he loves in such a demeaning way, especially not in public. "You don't yell at someone you love in front of the world," one fan wrote. Others, however, defended him, suggesting that he was human, that perhaps years of bottled frustration had finally boiled over. People can only take days past. Tiana found overwhelming support from fans who admired her strength and composure in the face of humiliation. She became a symbol of grace, embodying the resilience that so many women are forced to summon in moments of public pain. Her supporters applauded her ability to hold herself together even as her world seemed to crumble before her. For them, she was proof that dignity could still shine in the middle of disaster. Meanwhile, Iman attempted to do damage control. Days after the incident, he released a public apology, admitting his regret. "I lost my temper, and I regret what happened. This is something I need to work on. Tiana and I are going to work through this," he wrote on social media. His words sounded heartfelt, but for many, they were not enough. Some accepted the apology as a first step toward healing. Others dismissed it as nothing more than an attempt to save face. Words, after all, are easy to say. Actions are what matter. And fans wanted to see whether he would truly take accountability for the pain he had caused. For Tiana, the apology felt hollow. She responded with her own post, one that resonated even deeper with her followers. "I'm choosing peace," she wrote. With those 3 words, she made her stance clear. She was no longer going to allow the chaos and turmoil of her relationship to dictate her future. Whether she moved forward with Iman or without him, she had already chosen herself. That moment, for many, was the most powerful of all. It became clear that this was no longer just about a fight at a party. This was about identity, dignity, and self-worth. Tiana had drawn a line, and she wasn't afraid to stand by it. Her decision left the future of her relationship with Iman hanging in the balance. Would they reconcile? Would they part ways? Could they rebuild the trust that had been shattered in front of everyone they knew? Or was this the beginning of the end for one of the most admired couples in their community? As the emotional fallout continues, the world waits for answers. Can Iman and Tiana find a way back to each other after such a painful and public confrontation? Or has too much damage been done for love to survive? What happens when love collides with pride, when forgiveness collides with humiliation? Sometimes, One night is all it takes to change everything. So now we turn the question over to you. What do you think about Iman's outburst at Tiana during their daughter's party? Do you believe this is a wound they can heal, or has the damage already gone too far? Can love recover from such a public humiliation? Or is this the breaking point that no apology can mend? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on this emotional story as it continues to unfold, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Because one thing is certain, this family drama is far from over.